You've probably heard it lately. Venezuela, drugs and dire warnings from US politicians. But is Venezuela really the drug kingpin some headlines suggest? Or is this just another round of political hype? Let's set the record straight. First off, here's the big picture. Venezuela is not a major producer of illegal drugs. Most of the world's cocaine isn't made here. It's produced in Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia. In fact, 99% of global cocaine comes from those three countries. What Venezuela is, though, is a key country. Around a quarter of the world's cocaine passes through Venezuela on its way to markets in the US and Europe. That's about 639 tons in 2023 alone. Now, when it comes to the US, most of that cocaine actually travels up the Pacific route, through Central America and Mexico, not straight from Venezuela. For Europe though, about 20–25% of cocaine seized in the EU does come via the Caribbean, which includes Venezuelan routes. And as for fentanyl, there's no real evidence that Venezuela is a major player there. But here's where things get messy. The economics. Just how important is the drug trade to Venezuela's economy? This is where the numbers really depend on who you ask. Officially, there's no solid evidence that drugs are a major chunk of Venezuela's GDP, which was about $108.5 billion in 2024. But some estimates say drug trafficking revenues could be as high as $8.2 billion. That's almost half of what the state oil company made in exports last year. If true, that would make drugs Venezuela's second biggest source of foreign currency, right after oil. Still, oil is the lifeblood here. Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves, over 300 billion barrels. Oil revenue and taxes make up nearly 60% of state income. Agriculture and other industries barely make a dent in comparison. So, why all the drama? Well, political reasons play a big part. The US has accused Venezuela's government, specifically the so-called Cartel de los Soles, of running a drug cartel at the highest levels. There have even been deadly US military strikes on suspected drug boats off Venezuela's coast. Experts say, though, that the threat from Venezuela is often exaggerated, especially around US election time. It's a way to talk tough on crime and border security. The real story is complicated. The drug trade is tangled up with the military and government, but it's not the main event. In the end, Venezuela is definitely a player in the global drug trade, but not quite the villain Hollywood, or some politicians, make it out to be. The country's challenges are bigger than just drugs. Inflation, poverty, and a humanitarian crisis have pushed millions of people to leave. If you want to understand Venezuela, you have to look beyond the headlines, and way past the hype. So next time you hear someone say Venezuela is the world's drug capital, you'll know. The truth is a lot more complicated. Stick around for more deep dives just like this.